Order and start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. How's everyone doing today? Good. Excellent. Sounds good. Okay, so it looks like we're continuation of the peer review. Bunny's Dairy Barn. So.
Do we need a motion to reopen?
We have to open the public hearing.
I would entertain a motion to
Continue.
continue the public hearing.
I'll second it.
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So, you got the floor?
I don't see Hannigan Engineering here, so let me just tell you what's going on and I'll give you a summary of everything, so. We did the original peer review, sent it to Hannigan Engineering.
Thank you.
And they responded to the revised plan in a response letter. You guys can
Thank you.
look at this while I go through each one with you, just to make sure everybody's okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
I also have, you wanna look at a plan as well?
Might as well.
Maybe just put a couple out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys,
I guess I'll share with you.
Looks great over there. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I actually just drove by yesterday. Upside down. Doesn't matter to me.
See, I would think that, to me, this is upside down.
Well, the
To
writing's
me.
correct.
No, to me, it is, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I know.
Oh, I know what you're saying, because we'd be looking from
I
Gardner
always
Road.
want to be on the road. I don't know why.
It's easier to orient.
Hey, John, anytime you want to play in traffic, have at it.
Right.
so our first comment was, town of Templeton has dimensional requirements, front yard, side yard, rear yard setbacks. This structure does not meet the front yard setback. I gave it 30 feet. I think they have it 5 feet off the street.
Yeah, it's 30 for.
So, we recommended this be put in front of the building commission, make a determination. It's a temporary structure, so there's some special consideration with respect to that. And that's exactly what Hannigan Engineering says in its response. Temporary structure shouldn't apply, it should be fine. I would still give it to the building commissioner, just to make sure he's fine with it. He has to compare those regulations to make sure it's all set. Comment two was utilities. Trailer like this should have water, sewer, maybe gas, who knows what utilities, right? So, it's sort of like a camper, a trailer. It should have it has a water tank, it has a tank for the sewage. And they're gonna have to figure out how to add water to that to use and take away the sewage at a later date. They'll have to figure that out, but that's a Board of Health issue, right?
Right.
So again, let the Board of Health know that, and they can take care of that, but that shouldn't be a problem either. They're basically going to have trash barrels that they're gonna remove and take care of, so that takes care of the trash as far as I'm concerned. Again, pretty simplistic. Comment three has to do with the landscape plan required under your regulations for site plan approval. They're not proposing anything, so as long as you guys are okay with that, everything's fine. If you want landscaping, they'll have to add some shrubs and trees, but for something like this, that's gonna be there for a short period of time to remove. Again, that's a preference issue with you guys. Lighting,
Can we stop right there for 1 second? So, as we go through these, does anybody have an issue with landscaping? I mean, we should only, it's a gravel parking lot.
They're gonna leave it pretty much as it is. I noticed
Right.
they did some raking and cutting of grasses on, but,
Right, again, we're,
No, they're gonna, I'm sure they'll mow it, but I mean, we're not gonna make them plant shrubs and
No,
trees and
no,
stuff.
it's just,
They're taking what's already there and cleaning it up. They've got
Yeah,
nice
looks
mulch
good.
beds around some birch
So
trees
if
and
anything,
stuff.
it
Yeah,
should
I
look
think
Yeah, it looks
better.
nice.
I think it looks
Okay.
great.
yeah.
Going back to the setback, the front yard setback, I was gonna go through these after we went through them all, but one thing you should require after it's installed and operational is a site distance calculation should be done. When you're coming on that side road, exiting onto Plant and then taking a right, if you wanna cross the road and take a left, if that trail is going to be 5 feet off, you might have to stick out a little bit to see. And I'd have
Visibility.
Hannigan do a sight distance count, that's all. Yep. Moving on to the lighting, they're looking to put a light on the existing pole, and they're gonna work with the existing utility. Again, very common, very simplistic. The other comments, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, has to do with drainage. Drainage is fine, don't have to really go through all of this. Going to 15, he added dimensional labels for the parking, 9 by 18, which is fine. He originally had them slanted the opposite way and two-way traffic, which didn't work, so we had them slanted the other way. Enter the site from Gardner Road, exit from Plant Road. You can drive directly in, back up and go. It made more sense, so they put some signage for one way, do not enter, that type of thing. It made all the sense in the world.
Right here.
Because there's gonna be a circle around it.
So you're gonna go,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
come
come
in
in
from-
this way,
Okay.
park, go up here, and you exit this way,
Okay.
or this way.
That's why
That
this
will-
being 5 feet after it's built, have a sight distance calc, because when you exit, you're here, cross the road, you're gonna be looking right, turning left, and if this is too close, they might have to put
Yeah,
some-
they
maybe
already had a
mirror or
big
something.
accident
We'll see.
there.
And handicap, we had them add a handicap spot. They added a sign right here, labeled this to be the handicap spot, which is fine, but.
Which one? I
Um,
don't see it.
this one right here,
Okay.
right, is the.
Oh,
is the
I'm
sign.
sorry, yep.
The problem with that is, when you have a handicap sign, you need to have the dead space to the left or the right of it for the handicapped individual, and they didn't provide for that. So we're gonna have them revise the plan. They'll lose a parking spot, that's all. Hatch it, they'll have 7 instead of 8. Okay? Other than that, looks good. That's good, so, we'll have the plan revised one more time with the handicap issue, send it your way, and then you guys can decide to do what you wanna do with respect to these issues, but everything looks good.
That's good.
I mean, the 5-foot setback off the road, is that kind of like a set in stone? Is there any way?
I think it is.
So
Okay.
I work for the building department too, and it is a set in stone. It's actually 30 feet they have to be back. They're gonna have to go before the ZBA for
Okay.
a variance.
Okay.
Well, it's a temporary structure,
Yeah, but
so
I
you
don't-
could park a car there and no one could say anything. I bet Bill,
Well, and that's the thing too with the temporary structure.
temporary structure is very, very different.
Again, zoning official is the building inspector.
Yeah, so they would have to, I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine though they would make him go to the ZBA for a
No.
temporary structure.
Yep.
I just wasn't sure if
It
they
wouldn't
could-
make any sense to
Yeah,
me
yeah,
anyways.
but yeah, I'm with you, Charlie. Could they push it back a little bit on this lot?
Well, I'll tell you, the site's tight with respect to the,
Radius and
100-foot
turnaround.
buffer zone, the
Yeah.
100-foot inner and 200-foot outer riparian zones, and the more you push back, you get into the floodplain. So I understand why they
Right.
pushed it away.
Right.
I can agree with that. You're just gonna have to find out from the building commissioner if he'll accept temporary structure mentality and issue the permit.
Do we, what's it say? Well, I guess it's not that part's not our issue, I guess, setbacks, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Does
do
it
we-
help to give our opinion, or?
I mean, I think we can say in a perfect world, we'd like to see it not that close to the road, just for safety and, line of sight and whatever. But obviously, if there's no way of moving it, then there's no way of moving it.
I don't think the setbacks apply to temporary.
I agree with you, I'm just saying, like, in a perfect
Do we
world,
have a ruling
Yeah,
on that?
I-
I mean, we don't.
Up to the building commissioner.
Yeah.
And a good compromise here is if you allow the 5 feet, which is typical, for a temporary structure like this. After it's in, have Hannigan Engineering do a site distance calc.
Right.
And just to confirm there's no issues. And if there's no issues with site distance, there really isn't an issue with the setback.
and I'm assuming there's nothing on that side of the trailer. So, I mean, obviously, if that's where the window was and people were walking up and it's 5 feet from the road, I would have a little more issue with it, but if, I'm assuming it's probably the backside of the trailer. And so I'm assuming where there's
Yeah,
the parking,
it's
they're going
gotta
up.
be the backside.
Right, so it's, at that point, it's not really,
So does it make sense for us to, in the interest of helping the project move forward, recommend that we have, that if they are able to put it in that location, that we have this side distance calculation done? But we're only requiring it in the interest of moving the project forward?
I mean, but here's the thing, if all of a sudden, after it's done, and they say, oh, it's really, it's an issue, at that point, what are we gonna do? So if we approve it and send it back, I mean, I agree, like, I'm just saying, in a perfect world,
Well,
it'd be nice to see more, but I think it's fine.
So we can just, you say we just approve them as is, and
Well, we can approve it, the
Buildings.
building inspector would have to issue. I think for our role, the other items are probably more important.
Mhm.
But I mean, is the setback from the front of the road, it's a temporary structure. Let the building inspector do what he or she decides.
so then can we
Yeah, I
accept a
mean-
motion to
Mhm.
approve the plans with those amendments, the engineering?
That works for me. What's the board's,
I'll make the motion that we accept the plans with these amendments and also the final drawing, that
final peer review?
final peer review that's coming over, but that we move this along.
Okay,
Second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Alright.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So at this point, do we want to close the public hearing, or keep it open?
No, now we have to close it once we approve it.
Yeah,
Okay.
If there's any other discussion.
Was there anything from the audience, anybody? Sounds good. So at this point,
Motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So, looks like now we're on continuation site plan. So, I'd entertain a motion to continue the public hearing. Do we have a public hearing going from the last time? We did, okay. Entertain a motion?
this is, what are we motioning for? The,
So we're working on the next, site plan.
site plan for Matt.
Reopen the public hearing for Matt.
Do we have anything to read before we, is this one open before, or wasn't, is it?
So I wasn't here at the last meeting, but from what I understand, it was open in the last
The
meeting,
last
correct?
meeting, it was open and
It was
continued.
open.
We didn't discuss it or anything like that, because
Yeah.
they were working with Whitman and Bingham.
We just
To
need
get
to
us
reopen
engineered
it, and then we can
plans.
discuss it.
I'll make a motion that we reopen the hearing.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I'm gonna abstain on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the LeClerc
Yep.
issue, so I received a phone call from Chris Mossman, who was going to be the engineer of record, moving this forward, last week. And Chris is not able to take this project on, he's a little too busy. So I received a call yesterday from Graz Engineering, and Paul's gonna take this over, and we'll have a conversation tomorrow about the regulations, and then he'll be submitting a plan probably in the next week or so.
Okay,
So
Excellent.
please continue until the next meeting.
gotcha.
I make a motion to continue the public hearing
I'll sec-
until, what's today's date?
2 weeks, July.
2 weeks from today.
The 9th.
July 9th.
That'd be enough time, Jamie?
You know what, I hope it is. I'll know more tomorrow, but even if it isn't, we'll
We can always-
continue it,
Okay,
but it should be.
sounds good.
Okay.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Yep.
I'm
Abstain.
abstaining.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Moving right along. Addendum, stormwater management. So, I'm assuming you guys are from Gardner and the tea hanger. Excellent. Do we have anything open right now, or are we looking, are we in a, site plan, or?
Nope.
Okay, then you guys have the floor.
Okay. So thank you for entertaining our request. My name is Nick Ippolito. I'm the engineer for the airport. This is Ken Bonk. He is the chairman of the Airport Commission. We're coming to request from the board approval for a modification to the originally approved site plan. This is the original site plan. As you can see, it calls for your typical pavement and stormwater treatment system. Do you guys want the long story or the abbreviated version?
Start with the abbreviated, and then we'll,
Okay.
if we want more info,
So-
then.
What we would like to do is, Mass DOT Aeronautics Division has agreed to kick in some extra funding to fund sort of a green initiative to install porous pavement. And the request that we would like to make is to eliminate the large subsurface drainage system and replace it with the porous pavement. So it'd be a modification request to the original site plan. And that's basically the abbreviated version. If you'd like a longer version,
Sure.
sort of a sob story, with some simple reports. Is that a yes?
Well, I guess we would have to have peer review anyways, right?
Right, and that's, just because it's something that we don't really have any experience with, knowing that, you know,
Understood. And I believe my junior engineer has been coordinating with, what's the peer review engineer? Is it?
Whitman and Bingham?
Typically.
Yeah.
I
So,
wanted to say Brigham and Women's.
yeah. So Jamie, are you working on this?
Yes, so we received the plans, West Bliss is reviewing it.
Okay.
We wanted to wait till he came and have a conversation with the board, and then we can finish it up in 2 weeks.
sure.
So,
So, to give you some of the background information on this, in 2015, we came before the planning board to get the approval of the original plan set. So the FAA funds 90% of the project costs on behalf of the airport. The state funds the next 5%, and the local share is 5% of the overall project cost. That being said, the grant program that the airport operates under entitles them to $150,000 each year because they're considered a non-primary airport. So their entitlements total to $150,000, and the regulations say that they can bankroll it for up to 3 years, which the airport has done, and then they beg, borrow, and stole entitlements from other airports to total $995,000, I believe, for a total project cost. When we originally went out to bid, the bid came back at $1.6 million, which is outside of the possibility of funding for FAA and for the city of Gardner itself. So we sort of circled back with Mass DOT Aeronautics Division, and they had just completed a research program into porous pavement, porous pavers, things like that. And they said, well, this might be a good opportunity for us to kick in some funding for sort of a green initiative, if that would reduce the overall cost of the project. So for that reason, we added the porous pavement, and we are currently out to bid. We're requesting 2 bid packages from the contractors, one for the original design that was approved, and one for the revised plan, if approved. So, not to sort of use my own opinion here, but the mass stormwater regs are very difficult to meet for airports. The reason being, they don't use salt or sand. Salt would be corrosive to the aluminum bodies of the aircraft, sand would get ingested by the engines of the aircraft and cause damage. So the stormwater coming off of an airport is relatively clean to the surrounding area. And that's the reason the stormwater detention system got so large, because if you have clean water and you have to remove 90% of the pollutants, it's gonna take a much larger system than if you had, salty, sandy water coming off the road. So I do agree with keeping the original design in there, just for the sake of doing it by the books. But I do believe that porous pavement will serve its purpose. We've installed it out in New Hampshire at the Nashua Municipal Airport. They are on year 3 now. Again, there's no salt, no sand, so they don't have to come in and vacuum it out every year. It's held up just fine, and hopefully it will hold up really well in this application.
So what do they use in lieu of salt and sand? Is there something, is like a calcium chloride? There's nothing. Okay, so it's just plowed, not
They'll
treated.
Plow and then follow up with a rotary broom
Okay.
to basically clear the surface.
Basically, we plow and
Sweet.
the sun will,
Yep.
won't be messy as well.
Gotcha.
Could you just cover a little bit more about what you are eliminating from the original plan as far
Sure.
as the drainage?
So to capture the runoff coming off the roof and off the pavement, you had a structure here with swales basically leading around into a closed drainage system here that would detain the water, and then eventually it would, it would come in both directions, get into this drainage system here, and then eventually outlet here, and then you had treatment swales leading it off-site. Again, we would be eliminating all of the pipes, all of the structures, and replacing it with the porous pavement.
And so there's really nothing to filter the system, and it's being eliminated basically because you're not using salt. But there'll be other
Yes,
debris
but the
like,
porous pavement actually, so the stormwater regs basically, in so many words, say you can't allow more discharge from your site post-development than there was pre-development.
okay,
So the intent of the stormwater system as originally designed was to hold back that peak flow until after the storm, rolls through, and then it would slowly outlet it to, wherever it goes by gravity. With porous pavement, rainwater coming off the roof actually just infiltrates right into the pavement, down through it, and into the base materials. There's gonna be about 3 feet of just crushed stone with a lot of void space under there that'll detain it and then eventually infiltrate it if
What
our
about
drainage
other-
calculations.
what about other pollutants such as fuels and such as that, is that?
So the airport has a policy that no fuels should be discharged onto the pavements, similar to,
Right.
people not being allowed to change oil in their driveway and then
Yeah,
dump it into the
there's
sewer.
always spillage and,
There is, but it's the same way anywhere else. You have to basically trust that the operators of their motor vehicles, or in this case airplanes, are gonna do the responsible thing and not just discharge any type of maintenance fluids on the ground.
What if there was like a spill? How would that be cleaned up if it's already absorbed into the ground?
that's,
Or is that something we even need to worry
I would
about?
assume that it would probably be handled as if
Probably
it was
assume
dirt parking lot anyway, and something
But
that's,
I would think
I
that
think is out
if
of
there were
our-
a spill that
yeah.
got into the closed drainage system, it would still
right,
make its way to groundwater eventually.
yeah, because that's pretty close
That's what we
to
call
a
clean harbors.
a
That's
sensitive
what I was gonna
area.
say, yeah. Okay.
So,
Jamie, what's your experience with the porous pavement? I'm just curious.
I've never seen it in an application like this.
Never?
So when I talk to Wes tomorrow, I'll be very, very curious if he's reviewed the drainage calcs, see if it would work. You might also wanna take a visit to, what airport did you install it 3 years ago?
that is the Nashua.
Nashua?
Municipal Airport,
Yep,
Nashua.
we might just take a peek down there and see how that's going.
yeah.
How about the reporting of spillages, that's mandated, I assume, it's some,
There is a stormwater pollution prevention plan.
yeah, that's,
It's their industrial SWIP that the airport operates under.
yeah.
Anything that they observe to be deficient, or if they have a spill, there are reporting requirements, right?
So you wanna, what do we need to do here? Just
So I think at this point, we're just kind of waiting until.
waiting for our peer
Well,
review?
we'll have to, I think, make a motion.
To continue the.
But there's nothing really, I think this, at this
Oh,
point, it's
we
just
don't
been
have a hearing.
informational, because nothing's really been
You're right,
submitted to
you're
us.
right, you're right,
So I think at this point, this
Sure.
is just kind of informational until it's submitted, then,
So
You're right there,
A
yeah.
couple meetings ago, they submitted plans to the planning board. We got them from the board and from the engineering company. We came last meeting to listen to the presentation. They didn't show up, so we continued it. I came here tonight to listen, to
Okay.
find out exactly what's going on.
So it was continued from last?
Is it a public hearing?
Yep. No public hearing.
Okay.
Okay, so,
One question though, is there an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission?
Yes, there is.
Okay, are you also filing this amendment or modification with them as well?
We would follow whatever is in the order
Okay,
as far as notification.
okay. Have you done that to date?
Not yet.
Okay.
might be good just to follow up with them tomorrow. Right, Mallory?
I'm on vacation.
Oh.
I'll leave a note.
Yeah.
Because
So-
what happens with that, the revised plans will get sent to DEP as well. And
Okay.
DEP will review them and give
That's a
advice to
good-
the Conservation Commission
okay.
as well.
Right.
So that'd be interesting
Okay,
to see that as well, so.
sounds good.
So are you gonna be ready
2
by,
weeks, yeah, 2 weeks, we'll have a peer review report, we'll go back and forth with them as well. We'll come to the next meeting and give you a presentation.
Okay,
so I make a motion that we,
that's even with the holiday?
I don't even think we have to make a motion, I think we can just say
I don't think
thank
there's
you.
really
Yeah.
anything on the table at this point.
Okay.
There's nothing to
So-
motion that.
I mean, so we
so
don't
put
have to
them on the
worry about.
agenda for 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's really.
Yeah, just so we put it on the agenda for 2 weeks from
Yeah.
now.
Awesome. Excellent, well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You guys all set?
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Have a good night.
You too.
I don't think you can worry about the, enough people looking at them.
I know.
Enough government.
Yeah, they have enough
I
agencies
wasn't
for
here
it.
at the last
overseeing it.
meeting, so. We wanna,
The government gives you $1 million. There is
So I
a
think-
strength.
Yeah, there's probably
Yeah,
some
because
oversight,
they
you
can-
think,
they
they're
can
not just gonna give you $1
approve
million for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
You and I are gonna obviously
Go
abstain,
Bill.
but you can,
We can
we
wait
over the,
till next meeting to approve.
do you guys wanna approve the minutes, or you, cause Christoph and I were both absent. So, I mean, they can approve, cause there's 3,
Well, quorum's just the
We have
number
4
of people here,
who were
so,
last- Here last time around, so.
no, you'll
There's a
have 3.
quorum, yeah, there's
But
a
there's
quorum
quorum.
of people.
Oh, you weren't here?
I wasn't here either,
Oh,
so,
okay.
but it would be
A quorum of
majority
who was
of,
here, yeah.
right, so yeah. I think it's,
we can approve them,
they can approve.
yeah.
I thank you so much.
Thanks, take care.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from June 11th as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? You gentlemen all in agreement?
All those in favor?
Okay, 2 abstentions, 3 yeses. Thank you.
John, will you sign the copy of the minutes so we can submit them into the town clerk?
Yep.
I don't think they were done, we were doing that before, but, thank you, Charlie.
You got it?
So I just signed the,
The
the
back,
next
there's
page.
a spot, and we'll just cross out clerk, cause he's not here.
today's date, 25th.
Yes.
Any new business?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second it?
All those in favor?
Yep.
So moved. Excellent.